Hey, we're live. It's Winning Wednesday, Winning Together Wednesday. My name is Billy W. Merritt. Every day, live at 11, I'm bringing to you a new show or a show every day, a fresh show every day with a guest, almost every time with a guest. So far, we've had some amazing guests. We had some car sales people, some sales experts. We had some motivational people, and all those people rolled into two people. Today, I have a very special guest, and this is Winning Together. How appropriate. This is my wife and co-host, April. April Merritt, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining me on a very cool, what I think is a very cool show, Winning Together.
Absolutely.
So can you hear, producer? Can you hear?
Hello.
No, thank you. Listen, normally I have on my headphones and I can hear and I can tell whether or not, but make sure you're about pretty close to the microphone so we can hear everything you say, because I know you're going to have a lot of very important things, and I want to get this right. So I do have some notes right here. So April Merritt, you are a very acclaimed interior designer. Most importantly, you're a mother to two, other mother to two more, and wife of one.
Yes.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so you are an acclaimed designer. So I want you to I brought a book. I want you to tell me about this book. Okay, I'm gonna read the book. Okay. This is the Time Saver Standards for Interior Design and Space Planning. Looks like it's a couple with about 1,000 pages, right? Yes. So if I wanted to learn interior design and space planning, I could start with this book. So when you were getting this is a big, thick book. When you were getting your degree in interior design from the University of Georgia, how many of these books like this did you have to study?
A lot, probably 25, 30 of those.
25 or 30. So I like to read, but I don't think I want to read that book.
You don't really want to read that one.
I don't want to read that. So if I wanted to just fast forward and just get all the knowledge plus the other 40 books, can you give that to me?
Short version.
Well, no, not necessarily short version. If I need your services,
yes, absolutely,
makes more sense just to reach out to a designer, right?
Yes. You cut down on a lot of reading. Yes.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to get your dream home, which you've done.
Yes.
And we're also going to talk about how to do it yourself with luxury design on a budget. Is that possible?
Yes, that is possible.
Not everybody has
different budgets, but
a lot of different budgets. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. But first, let's talk about the title of the show and a couple of things that I think some people are going to want to hear from you. Winning together. I feel like it's important to be on the same page.
Absolutely.
So I got you on the show. That's a sign that we're on the same page. Let's talk. Winning is also success. So I'm gonna stop talking.
Okay.
And I want you to give me your version, your definition of success.
Okay. My definition of success would be happiness in all areas of your life, not just your money, not just your family, not just your friends, but all of those together. I don't think there are a lot of people that call themselves successful, but don't enjoy what they do. Yeah. They don't enjoy going home. They don't enjoy their children. And I feel like we're successful because we have all those things.
Awesome. Well, I agree. That's I'm actually taking that in as you're saying it. And I do agree. All areas. So, you mentioned money, family, home. It's important to love your environment.
Yes.
At home.
Yes.
And at work.
Yes.
Whether it's a business or you're an employee. What's some things that as an employer, because I'm an employer, that you can tell me that I need to make sure that I provide for employees?
I think that wanting to come to work every day has created in your business and mine. When you have people that come every day and want to come and want to succeed for you, I feel like that you too, you build better people when they come here. We want them to be successful with us, not just to make us successful.
Right.
Contrary to what some people may believe about us.
Yeah.
We want people to be better even if they leave.
Right.
And that can only happen if they love to come where they are every day.
Right.
If they don't want to be around you, it's not a fun place.
Right.
I don't want to work somewhere where I'm miserable every day while I'm there. There's not really enough money to make that okay.
So money without the happiness or without the meaning
doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Doesn't mean anything. I mean, we didn't have anything at one point in our life, and I don't think we were unhappy.
Right. Right. And you know what? And I actually want to talk about that as well. While we're on success, so success looks like to you happiness. I agree. At least a quest for happiness, an opportunity to be happy, helping others, and having I guess you'd say a peaceful environment.
Yes.
And then if you can do that
and make money.
And make money, that's good.
Yes.
What about health? What about health and fitness? Does that play a role? Do you feel like you can be truly successful and be unfit? I won't say unhealthy because some things you can't control.
Right.
But fitness.
I mean, I don't think you can fully enjoy it as much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can call yourself successful, but we think it's very important to invest in our health, and then our children do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, I guess you could be somewhat, but to your fullest potential, no, I don't. Okay. I don't believe that.
So, do you have daily rituals that you do to help you? Well, let's just talk about fitness right now. Do you work out regularly? How do you take care of yourself?
I work out 3 times a week with Anthony White at Team Fit, and it's pretty serious,
pretty intense
when you're there. Yeah. But it helps me all the way around. Helps me feel better. Helps me physically be better. It helps my mind to be better. I report there, so it keeps me on a schedule. So that works for me. I mean, I know you do it at home, but that doesn't work for me.
Well, we're all motivated differently, and I think that's a part of success in a marriage. And what works for me may not work for you.
Right.
So, speaking of marriage, we're not counselors, and there's plenty of reasons why we're not maybe qualified to give advice, but we probably in some areas that we are qualified to give advice. You've heard Paul, you've heard my guests, you've heard a lot of people describe me.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say are some keys to my success? Because it is fair to say, I'll ask you first of all, is it fair to say that we've been wildly successful in the last 2 years?
Yes.
Okay. So, and that, as you have already mentioned, has not always been the case.
No.
So let's
always worked hard.
Yeah.
But working hard doesn't always end in
I'm gonna jump ahead of my notes because I think it fits in right here. How do you feel about other people who are really, really successful?
How do I feel about them?
How do you feel about them?
I'm happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. How do you feel about people that said, or that say, or that think? Remember to smile.
Okay.
How do you feel about people that said, April, you sure are lucky. You got lucky.
I don't like that very much.
Yeah.
To say that we are lucky is something that rubs me very much the wrong way. Right. Because to get where we are was nothing about luck. Yeah. Nothing. We worked hard. We sacrificed.
Great.
There were times where we didn't see our children very much at all. Try not to cry.
Yeah.
So luck had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Maybe blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take over because you are getting emotional. That's fine. That's perfect. That's where the partnership comes in. There's certain things that I can talk about and remain not quite as emotional, but it is very emotional. And if I talk about it very much, I'll get emotional too. As a matter of fact, I hesitate to go ahead and say this because I don't want you to just fall apart over there.
I'm getting it back together.
Okay. But there's I'll let you say it because I think you can say it. Just stay composed as you can. Doesn't matter if you break down. Have you ever had to decide between feeding yourself and feeding your kids?
Absolutely.
I mean, and how long ago was that?
I guess 10 years ago.
10 years ago. So,
And
I guess
they don't even know that.
no, they don't know it. They don't need to know it. And, they need to know that the struggle, life's a struggle. So we try to make them struggle, as a matter of fact. But, they need to know that resilience and the sacrifice. And I tell my people all the time, don't sacrifice without a purpose.
Right.
You don't want to be tired for the sake of being tired.
Right.
You don't want to stay away from your kids for the sake of staying away from your kids. It better have a meaning or a purpose behind it. So,
and with that being said, we've done some of that too to get where we are.
What's that now?
Sacrifice without. I mean, the end didn't end the way
we
thought it would several times, which now is a good thing.
Much better.
But at the time, it wasn't.
So to that point, the person who's trying, the wife, was taken from that angle. The wife who has a husband who's ambitious, goal oriented, works hard, positive attitude, and struggles through the ups and downs. What advice? We'll start with the wife. What advice would you give the wife to if it's a low spot? Because it has been like this.
Oh, absolutely. I think you just have to stay on track. I think that's the best thing to say is if you love that person and you truly believe that they're going to get you where you want to go, you just got to ride it and be supportive.
Support, huge.
Don't degrade them when they're down. As a matter of fact, at one time, I had to step in and save the day.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do that from both sides. You can't resent the other one. I've heard women say things like, he's never home. He works too much. He does this, he does that. It gets lonely sometimes in those areas, but that's part of it too. I mean, if you want a successful life and you want your husband to be successful, you're going to spend a lot of time without him.
Yeah. So true. And that's why I say it's so important. And that's why I'm doing this show. And that's why I asked her to do the show, is because there's some things that I feel like can really help you. And you got to know these things. And that's so important, man. If you had not supported me, man, it would have been a nightmare. So, to the husband that's trying, and, I think this will tie into the question I was going to ask you earlier. So let me back up to that question first. You've heard other people describe me. What's my key attributes that's helped us, definitely the partnership with you, that's helped us be successful? What's the key attributes? Maybe you can name one or two.
I think ambition. You're you have huge motivation. You do just truly want to make other people better. Drive. I would say all of those things. Like it's never enough for you.
Yeah. So
in a good way.
Right. Maybe. I mean, I
sometimes it teeters on the other way, but
and we're learning. We're gonna.
You can't get where we are without those things. You can't.
So to the husband or man in a relationship, and this, it could be the woman, but right now we're talking about the man, because most of the time it's a man and a woman together, and the man who's ambitious, you use that word, but facing some difficulty. What will you tell him that so he could have some success like we've had, maybe even way more?
Just keep getting up every day and doing what you're doing. I mean, you got to keep going, even though it feels like you're not going anywhere. Sometimes you just got to keep going.
Sometimes you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and that's true.
So let me just say that sometimes you're not going anywhere.
Sometimes you have to change where you're going.
Is she still close enough you can hear her, rather? Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you are on the wrong track. Maybe you need to reevaluate where you're going, but you don't want to quit too soon either. Well,
success comes at a price. You're not going to have it. It ain't going to be easy. If it is easy, you won't hold on to it, or it won't matter. So, all right. So thank you. I did jump ahead a little bit there, so I'm gonna grab my notes again. Let's get back to the our notes. How to get your dream home.
Okay.
First of all, are there any comments that we need to address? Anybody we need to? Let's see if we have. We don't have our new studio ready yet, so we're winging it. But I do have an awesome producer over there. Do we have some comments? Okay.
Someone just said discipline. And I thought that was
Yes.
Discipline
Yes.
for sure. Discipline. All right, so we'll jump right into it. I can't see my screen today, so I mean, I wanted to make this a little more interactive, and maybe we can. So if something comes up, you get some names or somebody that something we need to talk about that a viewer, let us know. What?
I guess I did like this one. They went into detail. I've known Miss Merritt for over 10 years. She's the definition of 1, support, 2, faith, 3, dedication, and 4, patience.
All right, so
Wow.
that was a long one. I don't know if they can hear you, so there was a great comment on there. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Can you tell which page that came in on?
I can show it on the screen.
It's okay.
For everybody. That's pretty cool.
Show it on the screen. So my producer, we got to get him a microphone, but we have some nice compliments from someone there. Who's that one from? Can you see?
Michael Carson.
Aw.
Michael Carson. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Boy, you talk about tying into this whole thing. We've been through some
Wow.
ups and downs with Michael Carson.
We have.
2014, 2015, I was out there on the road making some sacrifice, and Michael Carson.
First Facebook.
He was Michael Carson was the guy who allowed me to do the first Facebook event, which has turned into our massive success. So that's pretty cool. So if you will comment, and I tell you, we can't see all the different pages. So if you would watch it from April's interior designs page, and I think that's where most of the comments are going to be. We'll try to do that. We'll try to answer your questions. If we can't do it now, we'll come back and do it in the comments back to you. Dream home, dream house. Tell me what a dream house is. A dream home versus dream house. What is it?
Okay. My dream house. I guess being able to pick whatever plan you want to do and it coming to reality in front of you was one of the best things that I've ever done.
So it was
I
like
do
a
it for other
dream.
people, but I mean, the house we have now, thankfully, is probably better than I even expected it to be.
Man, that's a real definition of a dream home if it's better than you expected.
Sure.
Yeah, let's show it. So, and if you will, put some of them post some pictures in the comments. If you can post a picture in the comment, then we'll get some comments and we'll comment on that. So, what's your favorite thing about the dream house that you built?
I have 2 favorite parts. One, I'm 45 now, and for the first time I have a swimming pool, and I have an awesome swimming pool. Actually, you built that part, but
I did. I did a little bit of the design on that one.
That's probably one of my favorite parts. So the next part's our bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely my favorite.
The master bathroom is pretty amazing. So, dream home, dream house. Let's break it down. How do you start how do you decide what you're going to build? Let's say you have a piece of property, and we'll break down the buying process as well, but we're going to build a house. What's the first thing you start with?
Well, the first thing to start with is make sure you know your lot size and what kind of house you're putting on that lot. Because you and I both liked 2 different things, and one wouldn't fit and one would. So that's the way we came up with the dream house that we have.
That goes back to the space planning.
Space planning, yes.
Yeah. You don't want a long or a wide house. You don't want a wide house if you have a narrow lot.
Right.
This kind of thing.
Right. So
All right.
choosing lot size, and then the plan that fits properly on that lot is the first thing you have to do.
Okay. And what about space planning with kids and family size?
Ours had to be pretty big, since we talked about those four kids that we have earlier, and then we also have girlfriends and soon to be boyfriends that will be coming over and all that. So it is pretty big, but we did great with not having to have it too big because of them.
To interrupt the dream home design, this goes hand in hand back to something that maybe we can get some insight on. You had 2 children before I met you, and I had 2 children. Now we have
Yes.
4 children. What's something we got right that we can tell? Because I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. We have it pretty good with our children, and
Yes, we do.
yeah. What's something we got right with we'll call it a blended family. I don't know if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Well, we got several things right with them, but they genuinely love each other, which doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
They are pretty close. And we do have great children. I mean, we don't really have one that.
But is that something we did, and if so, what did we do right? And if not, we're just thankful for that. You know what I'm saying?
I think that what we did right was showing that the love's the same, that there's no difference, that there's no stepchildren in my life, and there's no stepchildren in yours.
I think that's very important. I think that's key.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think that if
they have other parents, and that's fine. But at our
just
house,
more people to
we're a
love them.
family.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right. I thought so. I thought we were on the same page there. It's so important to have your wife on the same page, or it's so important to have your husband on the same page. You got to be on the same page. Back to the designing of the dream home, picking the right plan. Now, when it comes to curb appeal, I am a yard. You know, I'm all about landscaping.
yes.
You were less important in that, but yet the exterior. How do you come up with what the outside should look like?
Well, there's a lot of different ways, but I love the way our house has so many different elements on the outside. I knew that that's what I wanted. So to find the perfect brick, the perfect stone, the perfect board and batten that we have, color and everything together was very important to me. So honestly, you probably need somebody to help you with that if it's not what you do. But
yeah.
It was not hard for me, but. So
someone building a house, they want to build their dream home. If they're not a very good designer, or don't know exactly what they need to do, great idea to consult a professional.
Yes. And the one difference in color, texture, whatever can ruin the whole thing.
Okay. If you want to post several of those pictures in the comments on the April's Interior Design page, or however you can do. So give us some feedback on what you like and dislike about the house, and we'll get your professional opinion. We can do it. If we can't do it on the show, we'll do it in the comments later. If you will, like and share this video wherever you are viewing it. If you like it, if you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. We'd like some feedback. You can share it and say, man, this was a crazy this was a dumb show. I'd rather you not say that about this show, but we'll take any feedback we can get. Buying versus building. When is it a good idea to buy a house versus build a house?
It's a good idea to buy one if you can't handle the stress of building, which a lot of people have trouble with. At the very end, even I was ready for it to be all over with. But buying is better than building if you can find something that you like and don't have to make a lot of changes to it. If you have to, you and I looked at a few to buy, and it would have cost me so much to make it look like I wanted it to. It wasn't for us. Okay. And I wanted to build my own one time.
Yeah, and I'm so glad we did. And I'm going to give some advice on it right here. If you build a house, hire a professional and get out of their way. You can give your opinions, but let them do what they do. Don't try to be a general manager of a car dealership and a home designer. Don't try to be a lawyer and a home designer. You get you a home designer and you tell her what you want, or him, what you like and what you don't like, and then you just let them roll with it. Building a house was the easiest thing I ever did.
You just had to write a lot of checks.
Yep. So when's a good idea to buy a house? Did you already answer that?
Sort of. I think that buying a house is smart if you can live with it the way that it is, like I said before. And there is a lot of less unknown when you buy one. If you have a very strict budget, if you have a specific amount you cannot go over, if you know I cannot afford more than this, then that is a very good thing for you to do, because there's, as you know, where we thought we were going to be,
Mhm.
and where we ended up were two different places.
A long way apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was me,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of unknown in building a home, especially right now. And what happened in 2020,
Mhm.
building supplies went up, and anybody that's in the middle of building right now is paying a lot more than they thought they were going to.
Yep.
So buying a home that you can buy for $250, $225, whatever, and you can live with it the way it is, and you know what your payment is, that's a great thing for you if that's what you want.
Yep.
But you can't buy a house that's exactly like you want it.
Okay. So let's let this lead right into the other part of this the buying, building, and the luxury design. Now, early on, for a long time, we had to, I'm married to a professional designer, but we had very limited budgets on what we could do, and our homes have always been beautiful. So what can somebody do who wants to make their home beautiful, but they don't want to buy, or they can't, their budget won't allow them to buy a $3,000 rug and and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on redesigning or on making it look luxurious. What can they do? What's the first thing that they can do?
I always say changing paint color on the wall is one of the best things that you can do to brighten up your space or change your space or anything like that. And I also say, if you can't buy everything that's expensive, pick one thing and splurge on that thing that's the maybe the focal point of the room, and build from there, and do less expensive on everything else. Because if you see that part and you love it every day, everything else doesn't have to be quite so expensive. So
Gotcha.
One piece, just splurge on one thing that you love.
All right. So changing paint,
Yes.
painting, that's an inexpensive way to
And
make your space prettier.
the house before this one, you and I and the children painted every inch of that house ourselves. We didn't hire anybody.
Yep. And when you can, it's best. A lot of times it's cheaper
better,
to hire a professional, but when you can, when you have to paint the whole thing yourself,
Yeah.
that's a good way. Okay. And then you say, pick one thing, a focal point that you splurge on, and then design everything around that. Makes sense. And then you can do one thing at a time, one room at a time.
Right.
Okay. What specifically, because I've seen you take very simple materials and build something that's beautiful. What's something you could do to just that's creative? I know we have a video from a long time ago of you creating this little area with what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah. I think that just make it your space. And I love, and I go all over. I mean, I can buy wholesale, I can buy whatever. I love to go in little shops and find different things. You don't have to pay a lot of money for every single thing, but I like a lot of texture. I like a lot of colors. I like a lot of things all mixed together. So to me, that makes it look more finished than just going and doing what everybody else does.
Right, make it unique.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's some pretty good examples of how you can design on a budget. You can also get a lot of cool tips at on her page. If you're not friends with April, send her a friend request, and also please like her page, April's Interior Design. I put it in the link. I put it in the comments on several of the pages. Lots of stuff, and when you leave here, where you're going.
I'm going to Lots when I leave here.
So you're going to the furniture store to meet a client?
I am.
Okay. So furniture and accessories, if they want more information, they can reach out to you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Send her, you can right here, I'm sure her name's tagged in here. Reach out to April if you want some more information. She does sell furniture. And speaking of furniture, we have some super nice furniture in our home. I don't know if you have a shot of that, of the interior, maybe
a little bit. I gave him a little bit.
So you don't have to. Robbie Jones, I hope he's watching. Robbie's a great friend of mine, and I got this little saying from him. You don't have to spend $20,000 to look like you did. Well, I think Robbie's thinking he talks about buying a 1 or 2 year old vehicle. You don't have to spend $50,000 to look like you did.
No.
Well, you don't have to spend $10,000 to look like you did.
Right.
So what's some things you could do to save some money, but yet, or hey, drop some brands on us, some brands to look at that's.
At the furniture store that I work out in White Lots, we have anything from a $10,000 sofa to a $500 sofa. You can buy Ashley from us. You can buy Lane from us. You can buy Bassett, Craftmaster. You can buy Lee. You can buy Wesley Hall. The last two are very high end. The first ones are not so high end. You can spend anything that you want to spend. I can be in any budget that you want to be in. And with the budget, I tell you what pieces that you should buy and wait on the other ones until you can get it exactly the way you want it.
You know, my memory is just running here. You know, you talked about one time you had to step in and take over and get us some money, you know, when one of the ventures that I was,
that we're thankful is over.
Yeah. Going on. It didn't work out. You had to go to work.
Yes.
You went to work for 2 to 3 years driving and selling furniture every day. Now this is you're not one to brag very much on yourself, so I'm going to do it for you. You sold over, well, I won't say over. You almost sold $1 million of furniture for 2 straight years. Is that accurate?
A little under that, but yes.
$800,000 or $900,000. Average $850,000 for 2 years in a row. $850,000 of sofas per year.
Well, I mean, not just sofas, but
you understand what I'm saying. Those $10,000 mattresses probably helped. You were the mattress queen. Remember that?
I remember you tried to make me the mattress queen.
I did. It worked. It got me some money. And it's funny. It's funny. I'm being funny. But it's just being serious, but I'm also being funny. So, okay. So the person that wants to build their dream home, that wants to design their dream home, have a luxury designed home, they're going to need more money than they think they need.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I think you're qualified. You sold almost $2 million worth of furniture. Over 3 years, you sold over $2 million worth of furniture. That required some sales and some sales skills. Right. I remember the day you were going to work for the first time. You were so nervous because you didn't know if you could do this. I'm like, you can do. You heard her talk about the furniture. If you're an expert at something, you need to be selling that. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So you're an expert at furniture. She sells furniture, and she has sold a lot of furniture. They've heard from sales experts on this show. They've heard from me. What's some sales advice that you can give someone who already has a product to sell?
Okay. The best thing I can tell you to do is be interested in your customer, your client. They don't care about my children.
Right.
They don't care about my dog.
Right.
They care about their children and their dog.
Uh-huh.
So you find common places with them, make them feel important, listen to them. You don't have to talk a lot or in the furniture business, I feel like it's the same. You don't have to talk a lot. Listen.
Sales is universal.
Listen to what they want and need, and you will be successful.
Be interested in what your customer wants.
Yes.
Okay. And I could not agree more. Now, this is my advice. Okay. If you're watching this and you're on a small budget, or you want to build a house, or you want to buy a house, but you can't yet do it, it's because you need more money. All right. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. You can complain about it, or you can do something about it. Okay. It's my opinion. If you want some more money, you need to be selling something.
Yes.
You can sell services. You can sell books. You can sell ideas. You can sell items. You can sell inventory. You can sell cars. You can sell homes. You can sell online courses. You can sell trinkets. You can sell health products.
Yes.
There's something that you can sell that has value. I do not believe, it's a little rant. I do not believe in selling something because you can talk somebody into it. You need to sell something that solves a problem. You need to sell something that adds value. You need to sell something that produces something valuable. Okay.
And randomly picking that something will not make you very much money.
Okay.
It has to be something that you're very passionate about, which why you're saying that I sold a lot of furniture. I do love it.
I have a friend of mine. I have people reach out to me all the time. I have a friend of mine who is very creative. He create he builds things, and he has a lot of people on Facebook that really likes the things that he builds. He reached out to me. I said, buddy, you got $1 million idea. And I said, just create some content, get you some videos, some how-tos, store that somewhere and then sell it. One of my producers could help you learn how to build landing pages and things like that. And then we have another friend who is an absolute expert in a certain area, works for a huge corporation. Yes. And we talked with her and her spouse the other day, and immediately we all agreed. Yeah. She has $1 million product. All she needs to do is turn it into a sellable product. You got to take it out of here, yes, and put it somewhere,
and have faith that you can do that.
Yeah, you got it. Yes. So I'm telling you, if you want the dream house, you can't do it without selling anything. I mean, we have children going to be a chiropractor. We have one going to be a chiropractor, one going to be an aeronautical engineer. But let me tell you something. When they have those degrees, to get the most out of those degrees, they're going to have to sell. They're going to have to sell themselves to whomever is going to pay them. If you get money, it's going to come from a person. Right. So you better be good at being interested in people. Right. Okay.
Here we go.
All right. I just had to get that out. So if you want more money, you got to be selling something. So back to your sales tips. Be interested. Be passionate.
And always ask them to buy.
Yes.
You got to ask them.
Man, she could be on the first 2 shows. If you're not willing to ask for it, you ain't gonna get it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I usually ask about 3 times during and I'm with somebody for a very short period of time. But if you don't ask them, a lot of people will not go to the counter.
Okay, and in the furniture business, that's where you go to actually seal the deal.
That's where you go to.
In the car business, we stick them in the box. They send them to the counter.
We go to the counter, but and a lot of people will walk out if you don't ask them to buy.
So, you work with a lot of different people, and you were without a doubt a top producer. What do you see people doing wrong? Like, you're selling furniture. What do you see people doing wrong that just and not working?
Well, not asking. When they say just looking, just like in cars, you're not really just looking, or you wouldn't have came out here today. You got something better to do than just look. Now, there are times where they're not going to buy the first time. I can even be that person. Sometimes you are, but most of the time they want to buy, in my opinion. Don't go off, like when I say talk about their family, I may mention their children, but then I get right back on to what we're trying to do. I see a lot of salespeople walk around the floor and all they're doing is talking about the grandchild or the child or whatever. And that's great, but that's not getting you the sale.
Yeah, that's that rapport. And I mentioned this with Jonathan Dawson yesterday. Rapport is overrated. Yeah, they care about their kids, their grandkids, and their dogs, not your children, not your grandkids. But they're not there to talk about them.
No.
They're there because they want some information and want to know they have some type of problem.
Right.
That has some type of problem.
Right.
So
going off on tangents is where you lose somebody. You got to keep them focused on why they're there.
What's the biggest ticket you've ever turned in? What's to one person where you sold? They wrote a check or either financed this amount of furniture one time.
$70,000.
$70,000 worth of furniture at one time.
It was commercial.
Right. Well, you know what? Commercial people, corporations need furniture too. So $70,000. Wow. Thinking small doesn't work in selling, does it?
No. Yeah. No. Another thing, I think it's very, very, very important because this story. This is a kind of a cliche statement, but don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
I've sold more expensive furniture to people that walked in the door that did not play the part. I won't say anything negative because I don't believe anybody's better than anybody else. But the person in the overalls, they can write you a $20,000 check too.
Right.
And the lady that comes in with the expensive purse, she might have spent all her money on the purse.
Right.
You do not decide what your customer can afford.
You know what? That's a good point. We just met with our estate planner, our insurance lawyer, about making sure that we had all of our ducks in a row, business wise, estate wise, tax wise. By the way,
So our children are taken care of.
yeah. By the way, next Monday, Russ Story,
Yes.
who's our financial advisor,
Yes.
who I put through the ringer before I hired him.
Yes, you did.
The man, he did well, didn't he?
Mhm.
He did well. That's what I love about experts. They can handle
Yes, the questions.
the heat.
Mhm.
And there was nothing that I could rattle him with, and I tried.
Well, that's because he knows his product.
He knows his
so
product.
He's not scared to answer your
He's
question.
not scared of my interrogation at all. So that's why he handles my money. You know, that's why he handles our investments and our retirement. He's going to be on my show Monday, and we'll get him to. That's kind of a fun, funny story. He's a cool cat. And but anyway, we were in his office meeting with a lawyer, and where am I going with this?
What you were going to say was, you said, do your clients on St. Simon's have
Yes.
more money, or do your clients in the country have more money?
Yeah, and what I said, you're right.
Or somewhere like that.
I said she's from St. Simon's. She said, I said, well, there's a lot of money over there, isn't there? She said, well, there's a lot of people over there, but she does a lot of what she said out in the field or out in the country. That's right. Out in the country.
It was in the country.
That they may live in the country in a small home, but they got cash in the bank compared to the person with the big house.
Said the ones, not all, but a lot of people spend their money to live on St. Simon's, just to, they don't have a lot saved or whatever. But this man was in a 1975 ranch, and he would be
definitely a 1%.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Millions and millions and millions.
Yeah, he was worried about the estate tax, which is $22 million if you're married. Yeah. So you also that's the selling process, but now marketing and selling are two different things. What's some things that you did to market yourself that worked?
Facebook. And I posted multiple times every day on Facebook, and I did very well and sold a lot from Facebook.
You know what I loved about your post? You didn't look like a salesperson. You looked like a person providing information and looking like an expert, and therefore people bought from you. Do you remember that time I had a boss and they told me to stay off Facebook?
Yes. Yes.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. It's my show. Sorry. Hey, so Facebook marketing. How comfortable were you when I encouraged you and finally got you to do your first video and put it on Facebook?
About as comfortable as I am right now.
This
is not my thing.
Were you eager to be on here? Oh, let me come be on the show.
No.
So I was surprised that she came. I was surprised that she agreed.
Did I have a choice?
Yeah, of course you did. You've said no a bunch of times, but I am relentless. I keep asking. So how do you feel about comfort zones? We all like our comfort zone.
You like them, but you don't grow there.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to get outside of what you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. You're great on video. You're great. You're a great salesperson. Back to the story when you first went, you were so nervous, and now you walk in like a boss because you understand that you know that's your domain. You got to practice things. You got to be willing to do things that are uncomfortable. She's agreed to be here every Wednesday. So we might have a guest next week. I think I've about hit all my notes. What did I leave out? What do you want to talk about, or what do you want to mention that is important? We're going to get a lot of people to like and share this, please.
I'm good.
Do we have wrap it up? Do we have any comments? Do we have any names, any shout outs we can make over there?
It's mostly just positive comments, but I can throw these on as I read them. Janice came in, said, so proud of my daughter. April.
Janice.
We knew she would do that.
Give me some more names.
All right. Michael Carson is obviously.
Michael
Yes.
Carson's a fan.
Yes, he's
All
a
right.
fan.
We'll get on there and we'll respond to them. April will reach out and respond to every comment
Yes.
that was made. Okay.
Yes.
She'll reach out and thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting. Please like and share this. I would like to get this information to people. This is a brand new show. This is our third episode. This is our first episode. I think we have some good knowledge and some, I mean, you've got 40 manuals of knowledge in there that we can give to people. We have 10 years of being together that we can maybe, I mean, you know, so far so good.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we can be helpful. All right, take us out. Close us
Oh
out.
no, you do it.
This is the third edition of Live at 11. My co-star, the star of the show, April Merritt, my producer, Smith back there, Jamie Lopez. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching. We're going to be live tomorrow with Caleb Wilson.
Oh,
You know Caleb?
I know Caleb.
How would
I
you?
did- okay. He's not coming here.
No,
Okay.
he's not coming here. But now he could come down here. I would say I'd fly him down here, but then somebody
Can't
might
do
say,
that.
"Oh, you're talking about your plane again."
Well,
Caleb Wilson. How would you rate Caleb on a scale from 1 to 10 as being an effective salesperson?
he's a 10 and he's a very loyal person.
He is a
which
good guy.
I like better than the salesperson.
You know what? Wow. So trust in relationship. Obviously, you can't have one without trust,
No.
right? I mean, it won't work
No.
in any way. Stretch imagination.
Communication and trust are the most important things.
Communication. See, we could have did it. Maybe we need to do a
We have
relationship.
another show next week.
We can do it
you know,
next week.
so-
Next week, communication and trust. Okay, be ready for that. Now, when it comes to trust in the relationship in a business, it's paramount.
Yes.
Okay, I am good at going with my gut. Sometimes I get it wrong with people.
Mhm.
Okay, the relationship that Caleb and I have is basically a partnership. You
Right.
know, not only did we have Billy Merritt Marketing, but that guy's up there. He had a business before we got started, and everything we do, you can multiply it times 2. That's really what we're doing,
Right.
you know. And we have 0 contracts. We have 0 protections. We both have lawyers.
Right.
We don't.
Not together. I'm not
Yeah.
about the business.
Not
stuff.
about the business. It just works because I know that he, like you said about me, really cares about other people, really wants to see other people do well. He's going to say what he does what he says.
Right.
And you can trust him. And he trusts me. Unequivocal trust is the only way any relationship can make it.
And I'm a very good judge of character.
You are a good judge of character.
Very good.
I trusted a couple people
that I did not.
from the beginning
But he's not. I've never had one bad feeling about him.
about Caleb.
No, not ever.
Right. Never. Okay. But what about some of the other people that I brought into the organization that left us and tried to start their own organization?
Not so much. Shall I?
No,
All those
no.
things. Okay.
Don't do that. Ooh, that's so funny. But anyway, Caleb is an awesome dealer operator. He is an advisor to hundreds of dealers across the country. We met a long time ago and hit it off, and we've done a lot of business together. He's going to be on here. Our dealer show is tomorrow.
Okay.
Caleb Wilson will be advising dealers. I'll give you some notes on how to promote that. But please like and share this. Thank you so much. Look forward to tomorrow's show with Caleb Wilson, Friday show with Paul Sullivan, Feel Good Friday, and Monday show with the Money Manager Story. See ya.